Welcome, my dear learners, for this course on heat transfer. In this module 1, we were discussing on introductory concepts of heat transfer and one-dimension steady-state heat conduction. So far, we have discussed general heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate, cylindrical coordinate, and also in spherical coordinate. And we have solved numerical problems on composite wall, composite cylinder, and composite spheres. Continuing our discussion, in today's lecture, we are addressing critical thickness of insulation. Coming for critical thickness of insulation, we all know that addition of insulation will always increases the conductive resistance. Since the addition of thickness will increases the conductive resistance, it also decreases the convective resistance. The total resistance is sum of conductive resistance plus convective resistance. If I consider a cylinder, so let us consider a cylinder. So for cylinders, if I consider let us consider a cylinder. If I consider a cylinder, we know that thermal resistance due to conduction, is given by ln of R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi Kn. So if I increases the thickness of insulation, R2 will increase, so thereby thermal resistance due to conduction will increase. Contrary to which, if I increase the resistance thickness coming for thermal resistance due to convection, we know that thermal resistance due to convection is 1 by H naught A naught, where A naught is 2 pi R2 square into N. As the thickness increases, the radius will also increase, so therefore the surface area will also increase. Increasing surface area will cause decrease in thermal resistance due to convection. So if you observe, increase in insulation will increases the thermal resistance due to conduction, whereas it decreases the thermal resistance due to convection due to increase in surface area. Whereas the total thermal resistance is sum of thermal resistance due to conduction plus thermal resistance due to convection. So since there is a decrease in thermal resistance due to convection, if you observe, the total thermal resistance will also decrease. Since the total thermal resistance will also decreases, the heat flow will increase. As you all know that, so formula for heat flow is temperature difference divided by sum of resistances. Since the total thermal resistance is decreasing, the heat flow will increase. So hence, the addition of insulation is beneficial. And also, the very important point is that if you keep on increasing the insulation, after reaching certain point, again the heat flow will decreases. So this is observed. Hence, the critical thickness of insulation is defined as the thickness of insulation up to which the increase in thickness will increases the heat flow. After the critical thickness of insulation, or after this thickness, the increase in thickness will cause decrease in heat flow. That is, for example, for a cylinders or for a spheres, if I increase the outer radius, let us say initially, if I consider a wire, we have radius R1, I will insulate it, and if I observe, the heat flow will keep on increases. At certain point, it reaches maximum. Further increase in radius will cause decrease in heat flow. So I want to find what is this critical point where I will get maximum heat loss, Qmax. So this is heat loss, and this is radius, and the point where I will get the maximum heat loss from the surface is known as critical radius, and beyond critical radius the heat flow will again starts decreasing. So therefore the thickness up to which increase in thickness causes increase in heat flow, or heat loss from the surface, and beyond which further increase in thickness causes decrease in heat loss from the surface or heat flow is termed as critical thickness of insulation. Is termed as critical thickness of insulation. For cylinders and spheres, we call it as critical radius. For cylinders and sphere, it is critical radius. Now we know that for a cylinder, let us consider an electrical wire. I want to increase the heat loss from the electric wire, so therefore I will keep on adding the insulation. At certain point, I will reach the critical radius, which gives us critical thickness of insulation, that is R2 minus R1, in which I observe the maximum heat loss from the wire. Further increase in insulation or further increase in insulation will cause decrease in heat loss from the surface. So now, if you solve for critical radius of insulation for cylinder and sphere, you will observe that it depends on the thermal conductivity, which is the main function for conductive resistance, and convectivity transfer coefficient, which is very important for thermal resistance due to convection. Let us derive expression for critical radius of insulation for cylinder and also for sphere. But once you derive, you will observe that it depends only on thermal conductivity and convectivity transfer coefficient. Let us derive it. Now, let us consider a cylinder like this, having a length L, subjected for end convection or surface convection to the ambient, where heat transfer coefficient is H0. If I plot the radius, we observe that the radius is R1, and I want to find what is the value of R2 such that R2 is equal to RC. If you observe, the resistance for heat flow is due to conduction and due to convection. So therefore, rate of heat flow or rate of heat loss from the surface is given by Q is equal to, let us take it as temperature difference from here and the ambient divided by resistance due to conduction, that is R due to conduction plus R due to convection. Now for cylinder, we know both, that is Q is equal to delta T divided by conduction resistance is ln of R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL plus convective resistance is 1 by H0 2 pi R2L. This you people already done. Now for heat flow to be maximum, for heat flow to be maximum, we know that for anything to be maximum, its derivative with respect to depending variable should be equal to 0. Now we are interested in determining the value of R2 at which Q is maximum, so therefore dQ by dR2 should be equal to 0. Now differentiate this equation and equate it to 0, you will get the value of critical radius. That is, so if I differentiate this equation, I will get d by dR2 of delta T divided by ln of R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL plus 1 by h naught 2 pi r to l must be equal to 0. So this is of the form u by v, so which states that denominator square, that is ln of r2 by r1 divided by 2 pi kl plus 1 by h naught 2 pi r to l square, denominator square. In the numerator it is denominator is ln of r2 by r1 divided by 2 pi kl plus 1 by h naught 2 pi r to l, denominator into differentiation of numerator is 0 minus numerator is delta t into differentiation of denominator. Differentiation of denominator will yield us the value as, so I'll take 1 by 2 pi kl common. So if I take 1 by 2 pi kl common, I'll get 1 by 2 pi kl of log x is 1 by x, so therefore I'll get r1 by r2 into r2 by r1, the differentiation is 1 by r1. Now coming for this term, if I differentiate, this is of the form 1 by x, differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square, so minus 1 by h naught 2 pi r2 square l. So this is what I will get from quotient rule of differentiation. That is denominator square, denominator into differentiation of numerator is 0 minus numerator into differentiation of denominator. So I will send this denominator to RHS, it will become 0, 0 into anything is 0, and I will send this minus delta t to RHS, the minus delta t will also become 0. So hence only this term is equal to 0, which means that if I differentiate only the denominator term and equate it to 0, I will get the answer. Anyhow, I solved accordingly by using quotient rule of differentiation. Now if I solve, I will get this term is equal to 0, that is I can cancel off 1 by r1 and this r1, I left out with 1 by 2 pi kl r2 minus 1 by h naught 2 pi r2 square l is equal to 0. So once dq by dr2 is equal to 0, r2 will become rc. So if I solve this, I will get 1 by 2 pi kl r2 is equal to 1 by 2 pi h naught l r2 square. So I can cancel off 2 pi l on either side. So resolving which I will get the value of r2, which is equal to rc, which is equal to k by h naught. So therefore we have calculated the critical radius of insulation for cylinder. Hence the critical thickness of insulation will be critical thickness of insulation will become thickness is equal to r2 minus r1, where r2 is nothing but rc, which is given by k by h naught minus r1. So this is the derivation for critical thickness of insulation for cylinder. If I move ahead to solve for a sphere, so if we observe for sphere, let us consider a sphere having radius r1. I will add the insulation such that r2 is equal to rc, wherein which I will get the maximum heat loss from this surface of sphere. I am interested to know how to calculate R2. Now you all know that the heat transfer or rate of heat flow for a sphere Q is given by delta T, Let us consider the end convection H naught T1 T3. Let us take this as T2. So similarly T1 T2 and ambient temperature as T3. Now delta T is T1 minus T3 divided by sum of resistances. Sum of resistance is resistance due to conduction R conduction plus R convection. Now Q will become delta T divided by conduction resistance is R2 minus R1 divided by 4 pi K R1 R2 plus 1 by H naught 4 pi R square, that is 4 pi R2 square. Now for heat flow to be maximum, for heat loss or flow to be maximum, the derivative of heat flow with respect to radius R2 should be equal to 0. So this is also of the form quotient rule. So we observed that instead of applying the quotient rule, that is in the denominator square, in the numerator into differentiation of numerator minus numerator into the differentiation of denominator will yield us the same answer as that if I differentiate the denominator and equal to 0. So therefore directly what I will do, I will differentiate the denominator and equate it to 0. So if I differentiate the denominator and equate it to 0, what I am going to get is that d by dr2 of r2 by 4 pi k r1 r2 minus r1 by 4 pi k r1 r2 plus 1 by h naught 4 pi r2 square is equal to 0 is what we have. Cancel off r2 and r2, r1 and r1. Now if I differentiate, so this does not contain r2, hence this term will become 0. So this is of the form 1 by x, differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square, minus of minus will become plus, that is plus 4 pi k r2 square. This is of the form 1 by x square, differentiation of 1 by x square is minus 1 by x cube. So you will get 1 by h naught 4 pi r2 cube is equal to 0. So now solve for r2. The differentiation of 1 by x square is x to the power of n into x power n minus 1. X power minus 2 will become minus 2 x power minus 2 minus 1, that is minus 2 x cube, x to the power of minus 3. Minus 2 into x to the power of minus 3 is minus 2 by x cube. So we should have minus 2 here. Sorry. Now the differentiation is correct. So if you simplify this and observe, I can cancel off 4 pi and r square and r cube will get cancelled. So if I cross multiply, I end up with the critical radius for sphere as r2 is equal to 2 times k by h naught, 2 times k of insulating material divided by h naught, where k is k of insulating material, k of insulating material. Make a note, here also k is k of insulating material, hence critical thickness T, which is equal to R2 minus R1. So critical thickness for sphere is given by 2 times thermal conductivity of insulating material divided by H naught minus R1. So this is the formula for critical thickness of insulation for sphere, and this is the formula for critical thickness of insulation for cylinder. Let me pause this video for a while so that you people can copy it down. Later we solve some numerical problems on critical thickness of insulation. Now moving ahead, the problem number 10 of our discussion on 1D steady state heat conduction, which is based on critical thickness of insulation, states that a 10 mm cable is to be laid in atmosphere of 20 degrees Celsius with outside heat transfer coefficient of 8.5 watt per meter square degree Celsius. The surface temperature of the cable is likely to be 65 degrees Celsius due to heat generation within. Will the rubber insulation of K is equal to 0.155 watt per meter degree Celsius be effective? If yes, how much? And also find percentage increase in the heat dissipation too. Let us solve this problem. If we take up the data given for problem number 10, we have a 10 mm diameter cable. Diameter is 10 mm, which is 0.01 meters. Hence, the radius R1 will become 5 mm, which is 0.005 meters. Is laid in atmosphere. That is T infinity is given as 20 degrees Celsius with an heat transfer coefficient H0 is 8.5 watt per meter square degree Celsius. He has given the surface temperature of wire. Temperature of wire is 85 degrees Celsius and K of insulating material is 0.155 watt per meter degree Celsius. Now, he is asking whether the insulation is required or not. If required, how much is the percentage increase in the heat dissipation? First, let us determine the critical thickness or critical radius. If the critical radius is greater than 5 mm, then the insulation is recommended. If the critical radius is less than 5 millimeters, then there is no use of going for insulation at all. Now let us verify whether insulation is recommended or not by determining the value of critical radius. We know that the formula for critical radius for cable, which is a cylinder, is given by K by H0. We know the value of insulation thermal conductivity, which is 0.155 divided by H0 is 8.5, which is turning out to be 0.01824 meters. So that is critical radius is 18.24 mm. So since critical radius is very high compared to the actual radius of cable, insulation is recommended. So addition of insulation will increase heat loss or heat dissipation from the surface of bare wire. That is, since RC is greater than actual radius, insulation is effective. Now in order to study what is the percentage increase, let us consider two cases. Case 1, bare cable without insulation. If we consider bare cable without insulation, it will be like this. And you people know the radius of this. This is radius of the cable. Let us take it as radius of wire, and we know the value of H0 T infinity. If I go for second case with insulation, if I observe with insulation, then problem will be like this. We have a wire, we are insulating it like this, and we have convection. So now the radius will be critical radius and radius of wire. Radius of wire, and this is critical radius RC. We are insulating it with rubber material, what he has specified. Now if I solve this problem, we have the convection also for both the cases. First let us solve for bare cable. If I solve for bare cable, the rate of heat loss or heat dissipation is given by T of wire minus T infinity divided by resistance. Here the resistance is only because of convection, hence it is just convection, that is 1 by H naught 2 pi R1 L. If you observe, he has not specified the length of the cable, hence we will solve it for heat loss per meter length. So let us solve it for heat loss per meter length, hence Q by L of bare cable will become 65 minus 20 divided by 1 by H naught. H naught is 8.5 into 2 into pi into R1 is 5 mm, that is 0.005. So hence we got the value of heat loss per meter length of bare cable without insulation will become 65 minus 20 divided by 1 divided by 8.5 into 2 into pi into 5 millimeters. That is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3, which is turning out to be 12.0166 watts. So actually the heat loss or the rate of heat dissipation from this wire is 12.0166 watts. Now let us verify how much is the heat dissipation with the help of insulation. So if I go for with insulation, the rate of loss is given by temperature of wire minus ambient temperature. For this case, the resistance is because of conduction and also because of convection. Hence, for this case, we have conduction resistance, that is ln of Rc by R1 or radius of wire divided by 2 pi KL plus convection is 1 by H naught. Now here also I should use critical radius into L. Now if you observe, the length is not given for us, and also I can take 2 pi common, send it to numerator. The formula will reduce us to 2 into pi into TW minus T infinity divided by ln of Rc by R of wire divided by K plus 1 by H naught Rc. 1 by H naught Rc. So I am taking length to numerator and sending it to RHS because length is not specified. So therefore we will solve it per meter length. Since we are solving per meter length, this is watt per meter length with insulation. With insulation will be 2 into pi into temperature difference is 65 minus 20 divided by ln of Rc. Rc is 18.24 divided by 5 divided by K of insulating material is 0.155 plus 1 by H naught. H naught is 8.5 into Rc is should be in meters, 0.01824. If I solve, the heat loss due to insulation is 19.105 watt per meter length of wire. So therefore, percentage increase in heat loss, percentage increase in heat loss from the cable will be equal to heat loss per meter length with insulation minus heat loss per meter length from bare wire divided by heat loss per meter length from bare wire into 100. So if I solve, I'll get the percentage increase as 19.105 minus 12.0166 divided by 12.0166 into 100, which is turning out to be 58.99%. 58.99, which is nearly equal to 59%. So because of using rubber insulation with thermal conductivity of 0.155, we have observed that there is an increase in heat dissipation from the cable, which is increased by 59%. Let me pause this video for a while so that you people can copy it down. Later we'll solve the final problem of today's lecture. Moving ahead, the problem number 11 states that a small electrical heating application uses wire of 2 mm diameter with 0.8 mm thick insulation of thermal conductivity 0.12 watt per meter degree Celsius. The heat transfer coefficient on the insulated surface is 35 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Determine the critical thickness of insulation in this case and the percentage change in heat transfer rate if the critical thickness is used. Assume the temperature difference between the surface of the wire and surrounding air remains unchanged. Now, if I list out the data given and analyze problem number 11, we have a small electrical heating application wire of 2 mm diameter. We have the diameter of the wire, which is specified as 2 mm. Hence, the radius of wire will be 1 mm, which is nothing but 0.001 meters. In addition, it has an insulation on it. So thickness of insulation is 0.8 mm. So therefore, R2 will become R1 plus thickness. R1 is 1 mm, it is 1.8 mm. 1.8 mm is 0.0018 meters. He has given the thermal conductivity of insulating material, which is 0.12 watt per meter degree Celsius. The heat transfer coefficient on the insulating surface H0 is 35 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Determine the critical thickness of insulation, that is TC. Critical thickness of insulation is what he is asking. Hence, you find the value of RC also and find percentage increase. Percentage increase in heat transfer. Now, if I analyze the problem, in the first case, we have a wire which is insulated and here also the length is not specified. It is subjected for convective heat transfer, whereas the radius are specified as radius of wire. Let me take it as radius R1 and R2. This radius is R1 and this radius is R2. In second case, if I increase this R2 to R critical, that is increase the insulation to R critical, what is the result he is asking? Increase it to R critical. R critical. So instead of R2, if I use R critical, what is the percentage increase is the question. So this is what he is asking for us. Let us solve this. T infinity. Here also we have H0 T infinity. Now the temperature difference from the surface of the wire and the ambient temperature will remain same for both the cases. So therefore delta T is constant for both the cases. That is what he says. Assume the temperature difference between the surface of the wire and the surrounding air remains unchanged. That is T1 minus T infinity is constant for case 1 as well as for case 2. So if I observe the moving ahead for solution, the critical radius for cylinder is given by K of insulating material by H naught. So K of insulating material is 0.12 divided by convective heat transfer coefficient is 35. Hence critical radius is 3.429 millimeters. 3.429 millimeters, whereas he is using just 1.8 millimeters. Now we can solve for both the cases. If I solve for case A, case 1, that is Q actual. Q actual is given by delta T divided by resistance due to conduction and resistance due to convection, where the radius is nothing but R2 in this case. That is conduction resistance is ln of R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL plus convection resistance is 1 by H naught 2 pi R2L. Now let us take L common, send it to numerator and take it to left hand side. So therefore I will get rate of heat loss per meter length in actual case will be equal to delta T divided by ln of R2 by R1. R2 is 1.8 mm divided by R1 is 1 mm divided by 2 into pi into K is 0.12 per meter length plus 1 by 2 into pi into H naught R2. H naught is 35 into R2 in meters is 0.0018 per meter length. We are solving. If I solve, I will get it as delta T divided by 3.306 watt per meter length. Now moving ahead for case 2, we have Q with RC. Q with RC is given by the same formula. Replace R2 by RC. Replace R2 by RC and solve. We end up with ln of RC by R1 divided by 2 pi KL plus 1 by H naught 2 pi RCL. So therefore Q by L with critical radius will be, so he's asked us to find the critical thickness. So therefore critical thickness is RC minus R1. Kindly write it. RC minus R1 is 3.429 minus R1. R1 is 1 mm. Critical radius is critical thickness is 2.429 millimeters. Now let us solve for Q with critical radius. Delta T divided by ln of RC. RC is 3.429 divided by R1 is 1 mm divided by 2 into pi into thermal conductivity of insulating material is 0.12 per meter length. We are solving. 1 divided by H naught is 35 into 2 into pi into RC. RC in meters will be 3.429 exponent 10 to the power of minus 3. So if I solve, I will get the answer as delta T divided by 2.96 watt per meter length. So therefore percentage increase in heat loss will be equal to Q by L actual minus Q by L with critical radius divided by Q by L actual. Sorry, always with radius is higher, so hence it is with radius minus actual. With radius minus actual by actual into 100. That is with critical radius. So if I substitute and solve, I can take delta t common and cancel off delta t and delta t in both numerator and denominator. I left out with 1 by 2.96 minus 1 by 3.306 divided by 1 by 3.306 into 100, which is 11.689%. 11.689%. I substituted these two values. I taken delta t common and cancel off delta t and delta t in both numerator and denominator and solved. I got 11.689%. So instead of using R2, if you use RC, there is an increase of 11.689% in heat loss. So this is about critical thickness of insulation. In our next lecture, I will take up variable thermal conductivity. That's all from this lecture. Thank you all.